Now moving on to the testimony on Capitol Hill today. John Brennan, the former CIA director for the Obama administration. This is another study in one-track mindedness, bias, bigotry, and everything you can roll into this. It's all wrapped up into the furtherance of the narrative that the Russians colluded with Trump to steal the election from Hillary. Now, what's beginning to happen is Democrats are starting to walk back the talk on impeachment. They are justifiably worried what they have created out there. They have created a rabid, insane base that is expecting Trump to be criminally charged or thrown out of office for having colluded with the Russians to win the election. That's what they have convinced, I would say, almost every Democrat voter in this country, including Democrat judges who you would think have a modicum of intelligence that are above this. Everybody reads the New York Times. I guarantee you. I don't care what their education level is. I don't care what their income is. I don't care how sophisticated they are. They all believe because they read the New York Times. They all believe because they read the Washington Post. They all believe because they watch CNN, CBS. They all believe Trump's guilty. They don't even doubt it. They're just waiting for the evidence. They thought Sally Yates was going to have it. Now they think Comey's going to have it. They think Comey's got it. He just hadn't come forth. Somebody's got it. Maybe some of the Trump people like Carter Page or Manafort, they've got it. They're going to get it, though. They're going to get it. They already know Trump colluded. Hillary should have won. Trump cheated. They don't doubt this. I'm talking about millions of deranged, unhinged, mentally unstable Americans who have been led to believe that this is the case. The people who have done the led to believing, no, it isn't true. They now know they've got a problem. Those people's expectations are pretty damn high. And if there is no criminal charge, if Trump is not arrested and charged and impeached, they've got a problem. They've got fundraising problems. They've got Democrats getting mad and deciding to stay home or voting for some wacko independent like Crazy Bernie down the road next time. Who knows what? They are terrified of what they've created. They misjudged the sophistication of their own voters. They assumed that their voters would understand what this really is. It is nothing more than a full court press to pressure Trump, to paralyze Trump, to distance Trump supporters from Trump. But it's never been about really finding the evidence because there isn't any. And the idea that the Russians colluded in the election, that's not new either. Newt Gingrich was on Fox today. So you know what's wrong with these hearings is the Republicans. Why are they allowing the focus of this to be one man, Donald Trump? Can nobody on our side ask a question of Brennan about collusion between the Clintons and the Russians, which is well known? It's money, it's time, it's Russian banks. The Clintons have been in bed with the Russians for years. Why are there no questions about that? Why are there no questions about the banks that Hillary and Bill spoke to and accepted money doing business with the Russians? Where is any question on collusion between the Russians and Hillary for her to win the election via campaign contributions? It's a valid question. Where are the Republicans? Well, we can answer that. The Republicans are side by side with their brethren in the establishment on all of this. But since there isn't any evidence, folks, they've got to do something. They can't allow this thing to just end with no evidence and no charges and no insinuations, accusations, allegations, what have you. So what they're converting all this to now is a process crime. They're moving it now to obstruction of justice. And if it was asked once today, it was asked 20 times by Democrats of Brennan. Do you know, Mr. Director, if there was ever any pushback on your investigation by the Trump campaign, or maybe Trump himself? Was there ever any? Did you call? Have you seen any evidence that Trump attempted to push back or to impede the investigation? They're moving over to that now, since there's not going to be any evidence of Trump collusion. Certainly no actionable evidence. And Brennan right now, well, I can't really answer that in open court. So Trey got it. So there is, you're saying that I didn't say that, Congress. Well, you may as well have if you tell us you can't answer here in open session. I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't make these assumptions. Well, what are you trying to insinuate then? Well, I'm answering the questions I'm asking, yes, but I must tell you I have regarded my answer. This is all just a full-fledged dog and pony show. I mean, even Byron York today has a piece. At this rate, it won't matter if Trump colluded with Russia. I'll tell you what this is looking at. Scooter Libby witch hunt is what this is beginning to look like. They knew the leaker of Valerie Plame's name, but they weren't going to go after him because he was an accepted member of the establishment. Richard Armitage had to go after somebody because they had let everybody believe that these Republicans and Bush had committed crimes in Iraq and committed crimes against prisoners and torture. They had to get somebody had to pay for this. Lying by the media and the Democrats. And that's where we are here. So it's changing into don't expect Trump to be impeached. That's being said more and more. And moving over to the process crime. We'll let you hear some of the audio sound bites that I've been talking about here. There's other support data on this, too. And we'll eventually get into what happened at the Ariana Grande concert. But, I mean, I've pretty much touched on that to the extent that I'm going to. But I won't mind repeating myself. Won't take that long. In the meantime, a brief timeout, and we will continue in mere moments.